not supposed to happen. Sorry. So yeah, it's scary.
An emotional Ohio State University employee describing the chaos that erupted on her campus about 10 o'clock this morning. We welcome you to 5 on 2. We have complete team coverage of all of the latest developments. 2 News reporters, Natalie Tendall, Charlisa Gordon, and Maytal Levy, all live in Columbus working this developing story. But first, let us start with what we know at this hour, some 7 hours after this happened. The suspect was initially reported hitting people with his vehicle at 9:52 this morning. That's the officer. Police responded 1 minute later, the man you just saw, shooting and killing the suspect when he did not obey commands. We now know that officer is named Alan Haruchka, who's been a member of the OSU force since January of 2015. He was in the area because of an earlier gas leak report. That's how he got there so quickly. An alert was issued for an active shooter on campus at 9:55 a.m. Students and staff were advised to run, hide, fight. Another alert soon followed, telling everyone to continue to shelter in place. That was lifted just after 11 a.m. when police secured the scene. In total, 11 victims. That's the latest number, now being treated at Columbus area hospitals.
Tragic incident on campus this morning where a vehicle ran into a group of pedestrians, people gathered on the street corner, resulting in several injuries. The driver then got out and used a weapon to cut several people who were then transported to local hospitals.
And again, within a matter of moments, that suspect was shot and killed by campus police when he failed to obey their commands. Now, an initial report of 2 other possible suspects proved to be false, so police now say the threat on campus ended when that lone suspect was taken down. 2 News reporter Natalie Tendall live in Columbus with what we know about who the suspect is.
Well, we do know that that suspect is an Ohio State University student who college officials say was in his first semester here at the school. Now, police say that suspect, Abdul Raza Ali Artan, began his attack just before 10 o'clock this morning. They say he ran a vehicle into a group of people, then got out and started stabbing people with a butchie knife. The 28-year-old OSU officer arrived on the scene less than a minute later. That officer shot and killed that suspect. He's been identified as Alan Haruchko. Now, he's been with the OSU Police Department since January 2015. There is no indication of multiple suspects or that a firearm was involved, even though the campus issued a, quote, active shooter alert. Right now, police are still determining motive and are not ruling out terrorism.
Knowledge that this was done on purpose, to go over the curb and strike pedestrians and then get out and start striking them with a knife. That was on purpose.
11 people in total were taken to area hospitals with injuries ranging from lacerations to orthopedic injuries. Now, doctors say that they do expect all to recover. Live in Columbus, Natalie Tendall, 2 News, working for you.
And that is perhaps the best news of all. Natalie, thank you. It proved to be a very unsettling morning for all of us who have children there on the Ohio State campus, and many students, faculty, staff, and residents still working hours later to process exactly what happened on campus this morning. 2 News reporter Charlisa Gordon continues our team coverage with some of what they have to say.
We're here outside Woodruff Road and College Avenue, and this is where most of the activity happened earlier today, where you can see that the shooter was shot over here, and I'll actually step out of the way so you guys can see. The police, there's still a strong police presence over here tonight, even though the scene has been officially cleared. But take a look at some video of what it looked like earlier today. Hundreds of students looked on in shock that something like this happened on their campus. The Buckeye alert first went out to students this morning at 9:56. The university encouraged students and staff to shelter in place for about an hour and a half. Once the restriction was lifted, students were free to move about the campus, but some were visibly shaken by the situation.
I mean, it's unexpected. I mean, you never think this would happen where you go to school. It obviously happens at a bunch of other schools, but where you are, you never expect it to happen. So I think it's tragic that people are just trying to learn, and then out of nowhere they get attacked, and such a brutal thing happens. And somewhere, someone's family is extremely upset and saddened right now.
The students here at the university, they were told that classes were canceled for tonight, and it will be canceled or it will resume tomorrow morning. Coming up to later in the show, we'll hear from a student that actually saw the car plow into the students in the crowd. Charlisa Gordon, 2 News, working for you.
All right, Charlisa, thank you. And of course, many Buckeyes and residents across the city of Columbus coming together now following this morning's frightening attack by holding prayer vigils across the city this evening. 2 News reporter Maytal Levy also live in Columbus at one of those gatherings tonight.
Mark, I'm here on 13th Street at Jacob's Porch, where about a dozen people are gathered inside, singing, praying, and lights are lit in the shape of a cross for those 11 victims here in this attack. There's also service dogs on hand to help people cope with what's happening, a screen with a prayer on it while people read off of that, just trying to come together in unity and solidarity to figure out how this all could have happened. We're going to work to talk to some of the people inside and see what's next for these students here at this location across from the campus. For now, live in Columbus, Maytal Levy, 5 on 2.
All right, May, we'll be checking back. Now, today's attack, certainly a wake-up call for all colleges and universities all across the country, left to wonder, would they be ready if it happened on their campus next? Zach Pitts working for you, talking with campus leaders this evening at Wright State.
Mark, good evening to you. You know, law enforcement officials from state universities, they actually meet a couple times a year to talk about this sort of thing. Now, in regards to the events that unfolded at OSU tonight, Wright State Police, they're kind of taking an outside perspective right now, asking themselves, what went right? What could have been done a little better? And they're using that information. They're going to make their emergency plans even more effective. Now, Wright State has over a dozen officers. It has mutual aid agreements with several surrounding departments. And officials say the biggest takeaway from today is that anything can happen and they need to be prepared for it.
Just encourage our community members, our parents to know that Wright State University is doing all they can to ensure the interest and safety of all community members, whether it's faculty, staff, or students, and that the police department has been properly trained. We still go through training, update training often, and we encourage our community to go ahead and take that training that we offer as well.
Now, here's another big reminder from campus police. If you see something, simply say something. Now, coming up in the next hour, half hour I should say, how campus officials rely on social media to save lives. We're live in the newsroom tonight. Zach Pitts working for you.